Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at how to find the highest common factor between two numbers. If you watched my previous video, we looked at how to find the lowest common multiple between two numbers. For that we used two different methods. We're going to do the same for this one as well. So I'm going to name my methods as method 1 and method 2. I'm going to use the exact same method I used for lowest common multiple, but we're going to use them in a different way. So first one is the prime factor tree method. So I'm going to pick the same numbers as I picked in the last example, 120 and 150. So if you remember in the last video, I used 2 times 60 to start splitting it up. So there are different ways of splitting it up. So let's just pick a different way this time. So I'm going to do 3 times 40 instead this time. The next step we did was circling the prime number. So out of 3 and 40, 3 is the prime number. Once again, a prime number is a number that has only two factors. It can only be divided by number 1 and by itself. So 3 is such a number, so we can circle 3. However, 40 is not a prime, so we have to split it further. So I'm going to split this as 2 times 20. 2 is the prime, so I'm going to circle it. 20, I need to still split this further. So I'm going to do it as 2 times 10. So 2 is the prime, I'm circling it. And 10, I'm going to split this further as 2 times 5. 2 is the prime, 5 is the prime, so I circle both of them. The next one, in the previous example, I split this as 2 and 75. Now I'm going to use 3 instead. So I'm going to do 3 times 50. So 3, I'm going to circle 3 since it's a prime. So 50, I'm going to split this further as 2 times 25. 2 is a prime, so I'm going to circle it. 25, I have to split this again. So 5 times 5. 5 is a prime, so I need to circle both of them. So once I've finished with the prime factor trees, I need to put them in the Venn diagram. So I'm going to create a Venn diagram for both of these numbers. So one number is 120, the other one is 150. Highest common factor is in fact a little bit easier than lowest common multiple because you're interested in only one thing, which is the common numbers. So for 120 and 150, we got a 3 that's the common. So I'm going to put that in the middle. And I've got number 2 in both of them. So 2 is also a common number. And I've got one more, number 5, that is a common number. So I'm going to write that down in the middle as well. So the highest common factor between 120 and 150 is simply all the numbers in the middle region, the common factors multiplied together. So that's 2 times 3 times 5. So that's 30. So the highest common factor between these two numbers are simply 30. So now we're going to move on to the method 2. If you watched my last video, you should be familiar with this already, but I will explain this further here. So 120 and 150. So if you look at the lowest common multiple example, we said we need to pick a lowest prime number that can divide any of these numbers. So it doesn't have to divide both of the numbers. As long as it can divide one of the numbers, we can pick that. But for highest common factor, it's a more strict rule than that. So we need to only pick the numbers that can divide both of the numbers in the ladder. So in this case, 2 can divide both of these numbers. So I can pick that. 2 goes into 120 60 times, and the next one is 75. So now, if it was lowest common multiple, we could have still picked 2 because 2 can divide 60. But for highest common factor, you can only pick the number that can divide both of them. So 2 cannot be picked because 2 cannot divide 75. So the next number that can be picked is 3 because 3 can divide both of 60 and 75. So when you divide, that would give you 20 and 25. Now we need to pick the number that can divide both of them. So you can't pick 2 because 2 can't divide 25. The only number that can be picked is now 5. 5 can divide both of them. So that would give you 4 and 5. So now at this stage we need to stop because after this point we cannot pick a number that can divide both 4 and 5. Therefore, we are done with this. So the highest common factor again between these two numbers are simply all the numbers we used multiplied together. So that's 2 times 3 times 5. So highest common factor is 30. So that is done. So again, it's up to you guys to decide whichever method you prefer. I personally prefer method 2 for this one as well. So yeah, so these are two different ways of finding highest common factor. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in the next video.